Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, bruh, because it's amazing that we here again on a Friday, y'all. That's right. February the 6th, 2026. It's I like for real. Jay, it doesn't feel like the months are going by fast. Is it is it really February already?
Um, has it been snowing there?
It in some parts of Florida it has, bro. It literally has, for sure.
No, it's going by pretty slow for me. Tell you that.
I don't know, man. It's one of those
Yeah,
things where it's wild.
yeah. I'm ready for 2027. I'm done with this year.
Yeah,
I'm
Already.
I'm,
damn.
I'm done. I'm done.
30 something days in, you ready to cut it short.
Yeah, it's not been a good year for me. It really hasn't.
Well, you got a hell of a lot more months to go. So you start slow and you can build momentum. Still have plenty more time to build momentum. You can make it 11 months with the best year you've ever had, and it all be wrecked in 1 month. So
Yes, you can. That was my
hmm
2025.
hmm
just one,
Oh man,
but
man down, man down.
He's coming back. He's coming back, ladies and gentlemen.
I
And
thought I was
okay,
here.
he's still here. Just a black square though.
He's in the upside down.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know what's going on.
This is
I'm
what
looking at.
this is not what they meant by darkness retreat.
So you can see us, but we can't see you. So jump in and jump back out, Jay. And let's see if it fixes
Don't go
itself.
near the light.
Yeah. So hey, look, like we did yesterday, guys. Hey, we got 3 people right now jumping in and out. We can look like 4. How about this? Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Get the shares up. Let's get the numbers up. Let's go ahead and get it going. We got Rec Room Sports in the hoop tonight. We are talking basketball. Trade deadline is officially over. That's right. 1 o'clock yesterday, we found out that people were being moved that didn't want to be moved, and the ones that needed to be moved couldn't be moved. It's crazy. So we got a lot to get into today, and the wild thing is there are some people, Bobby knows, Alan, that were supposed to be looking for trade partners, and they still in the original jerseys. I can't wait to get into that. We got so much information to give away. And literally, just like we've been saying, it's been a quick week. We started off, close to the beginning of the week with some stuff, some trades that involved Bobby's Cavaliers, and we will definitely talking a little more in depth. And then some way we ended up with, you know, um, trades that involved, well, that didn't even involve the people who we thought were going to be moved. And that's wild to me. The people we thought were going to be moved around still in the same jersey, dog. But on top of what was going on yesterday around 1 o'clock when the trade deadline ended, yesterday we did a thing. So let's go ahead and get to it. Just in case you don't know, right? Yesterday, me and the guys were prepping for almost what would be considered like an extinction level event. Let's just put it like that, man. We didn't know what was going to happen. But shout out to Bobby, came in ready, guns blazing. Didn't even get to use all his shots. I heard you told me, man. You had something real hype for the Black History Fact. I appreciate you just being prepared. We had Alan rushing home to get onto the microphone to try and make it happen. We had Jay trying to make it work, and then me on site, ladies and gentlemen. We got a chance to go to the ESPN studios here at Cox Media, right here in Jacksonville, Florida. The Harold and Harold CMG Cox Media ESPN studio, to be exact. Shout out to Harold and Harold. And we got a chance to put on a show, or a short version of a show, what they call a dry run. And we got Bo Crouch in the building. We had Uncle Scott, and it was amazing, man. We were predicting a lot of obstacles, but some moved them all out the way, man. And so we got a lot to look forward to. Rec Room will be on Thursdays. We will be still here on StreamYard using the platform to make sure that you got access to it on all streaming platforms, all social media platforms, on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, as we always do, and Instagram. But then at the same time, if you want to, you are more than welcome to flood ESPN 690 website and just listen to us, man. Right there on ESPN 690 and stream the show just like you would at the radio station, man. So, Jay's got some experience when he, spent some time in the A, and it's crazy that we get to kind of relive what we wanted to focus on. What Jay, maybe like 4 or 5 years later?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah. Roughly. Yeah.
Somewhere around there, we had a time clock in our head, and look at us now, man. All the work is paying off, but we still got way more work to do. Bobby, of course, now you in essence will be the glue. You gonna be like Draymond Greening. You know what I'm saying? Not only can you
put
not
that
keep
evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Damn.
No damn Draymond Green.
Not only will you be able to knock guys out and foul for us, but you will be in the middle of everything as we do this 5 or 6 man rotation. So shout out to you, Bobby G. And then of course we got AP, man. We can't forget about you, Alan. Anytime you're available, you're gonna come through with the news. You're gonna let us know the storylines, what's new. I can't wait for you to get on and talk some baseball, bro. I know that's your thing. I cannot wait for you to line up some baseball news for us to talk about. Yeah, he's ready. Yeah. Anyway, Alan's ready. We're ready. Somehow, some way, it's going to be the Rec Room Sports Show. So make sure on March the 5th, ladies and gentlemen, March the 5th, we will be live on ESPN 690. We will be once again finding our way to the airwaves, but it'll be just a little different because we will be reporting live from Jacksonville, Florida. I'll be in the studio. The guys will be doing remote, but you can still hear us on the airwaves and on the internet. So it's Rec Room Sports bringing the internet to the radio. And on that note, we might as well start the show. March 5th, get ready. Yeah, that's right, y'all. It's your boy K with your mama's #1 draft pick. We live and in full effect right here in the Rec Room for another episode of In the Hoop. It's wild. It's happening. We already talked about it a little bit. Trade deadline week has already passed us, and some bodies have been moved. We got a lot to talk about, and of course, I got the gang with me. Big shout out to my guy Jay on the MIC. Jay was really good. See you over there, bro.
Hey man, I'm just trying to keep this connection. I don't know what's going on. I need new service. I need everything. Like this is the worst experience I've ever had. I'm not gonna throw my internet provider under the bus, but AT&T, your days are numbered. Oh,
dang. Yeah. Okay. So we hate that for you too, because trust me, I know exactly what that's like. Big shouts out to my guy AT Allen. What it do, AP? We are in the building once again. Allen, are you ready to talk about this week with the trade deadline already passed? What's up?
I mean, I got nothing else to do at this point. If you know, you know.
It's all good, Alan. We are going to make some resources happen for you. Don't even worry about that. Of course.
How I gonna get fired on my off day?
Oh man. Hey, can't forget about my guy, man. Cleveland's home, but Las Vegas is on. we got Audible Podcast, Bobby G, man. You working a double today, man. I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, and I ain't got no problem throwing nobody under the bus. FanDuel, your service is trash. I tweeted you that your service is trash, and they actually replied back to me. You can go check my timeline.
Wow.
We're sorry. Tell us what your issue. It's too late to tell you about my issue. I missed the damn game.
Damn.
That's my issue. Frick FanDuel TV, man. ESPN, please, somebody, Prime, Amazon, buy the rest of the NBA contract. Like, get it off these bootleg networks.
And I can't lie to you, bro. I am so tired of cutting on the TV and not seeing Shaq, Kenny, Charles, and EJ. They had Kenny on NBA tonight in NBA on ESPN the other day, sitting next to Kendrick Perkins, and I was like, "What is this?"
What are you doing, ESPN? Seth Rollins is on NFL Network. What are y'all doing?
What are we doing? What happened? Like all they work. Like, you know what I'm saying? They made all of that. They made all of that fuss about them contracts and how they was getting negotiated with ESPN, and they're not coming back. But the funny thing is, I swear they only did 4 shows.
Well, I guess
basketball season, 4 episodes, and 2 of them was during Christmas.
And I'll take that back. I apologize. I meant no disrespect. I mean, ESPN, you're polite enough to let me speak on your airwaves. You're doing a fantastic job. Keep up the good work, fellas.
Yeah, we got to monitor ourselves now because we are going to be a part of the company cog in just a little bit. And, oh yeah, check them out. We got my guy down here. I see you. Oh yeah, just came back.
Wait,
from,
does that mean I gotta start wearing Mickey Mouse ears now? Is that what this is all about?
Not necessarily, but we won't make you make what Mickey Mouse is, but coming straight from a home game. He's probably completely out of energy, but I'm glad he showed up one time for Uncle Scott Cole. Scott Cole.
Just want to let you guys know, I live in Boston, the city of winners. So
it was a winner tonight.
Yeah, by 2.
Okay, yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it any way it comes. Oh man, so of course, Scott, you got a chance to lay your eyes.
Simons.
Yeah, we got a chance to lay eyes on the all new Boston team, but we're gonna go ahead and get into it, man. It's wild to say, but it's February the 6th. The month is almost over, and somehow, some way, bro, we got to talk about what's been going on, man. The trades and all. So make sure everybody, you find us on Twitter, okay, on Instagram at _Rec Room Sports, on TikTok, Rec Room Sports Hub, on YouTube at the Rec Room Sports Hub, and make sure you give your shout outs. Shout out to the team. Let us know what you are thinking about when it comes to these trades, because we got a lot to get into. So let's go ahead and get into the first part right there. Wait, they never got traded? And there's 2 obvious names that are at the top of this list, and they weren't moved. And it's shocking to not just me, to not just the gang, but to the rest of the basketball world, that 2 of the most important names during this trade deadline week were not found with quote unquote dance partners to get some of the biggest names in the NBA to other destinations. So let's go ahead and get it set up, guys. Hold up. There we go.
But I'm surprised Allen didn't get traded to Fox Sports. I'm shocked.
Yeah, he doesn't have an expiring contract. Allen's going for the extension next year, so that's why they didn't take him on.
I'm in a contract dispute with DraftKings.
Everybody's getting it today.
Are we underwhelmed by the trade deadline this year?
You know what, Scott? I'm glad you brought that up. With what's going on, there are 2 players in particular who didn't get moved.
All right. I'm totally happy with Vucevic. I watched him play up close and personal tonight. He played really well. So I think it'll pan out for the Celtics big time that he's good. But Giannis and Morant didn't get traded when we all thought Morant was gone, I think. That was the talk that was going buzz around the NBA. Once Jaren Jackson got moved, I thought Morant was close behind. And then the Bucks were just like, We'll dangle him out there. No, we're gonna pull him back. Fooled you. So I'm think this is. There were a couple of good trades. Harden to Cleveland was a great trade for the Cavaliers, as Bobby knows. But other than that, there was a lot of trades for the future, I think, instead of for the now, and to try to win a title. So I was a little underwhelmed by what happened. I thought there'd be more going on. And Mike Conley's going back to Minnesota right here tonight at the Garden.
Yeah.
He's on his way back to the T-Wolves. So I just think it was underwhelming this year what teams did, other than Cleveland. Yeah, I think the Harden trade was the best trade. Biggest name, I agree, but now they have a second guy that can facilitate for them and produce in the clutch for them, and take the pressure off Donovan Mitchell, so to speak. So
I dig it, man.
Yeah.
It's a couple other ones that stand out to me. But did we, we'll get further into that. Jay, you was about to say something?
Well, basically, Memphis. They kind of, I don't know. Memphis is a big enigma because I don't know if Allen wants to hear this, but they don't have 16 first round draft picks between now and 2035, anything like that. But I mean, they're close with 14. They got 14 first round picks, which will also, they have a huge asset in one John Morant. So, opposite Milwaukee, who they don't really have anything. They gave up I don't think they have a first round pick going into next year's draft. But, it was said that as far as John Morant, the Heat was sort of a dance partner. And they chose to, I guess, Memphis asked the Heat for a first round pick for John Morant, in the package. And that pretty much, and that's kind of sad because, a player of his stature, or some would say once was, his value is going down, of course. I mean, we all knew that his value was down, but to not get like one first round draft pick, which it's not really surprising because, we could talk about Trae Young and he pretty much being moved with no first round pick involved. But when you're talking about Morant, when you're talking about having that many first round picks, could you possibly put somebody next to him if you don't get rid of him? That's sort of a question. If you don't get rid of them, like you actually have a lot of assets in these first round picks to get somebody to sit next to him. Opposed to Milwaukee, like I said, they're about to sign some type of mega deal, almost $300 million as far as Giannis, and who can they put next to him, when you're paying that much to this guy, right? And it's just him being the dog that he is in Milwaukee on the court. It seems like off the court, he's not that dog because he's not being very vocal when it comes to him in these private conversations. I don't think he said enough. I think if he said enough, he probably would have been gone. I mean, that's a big, big price tag when you're talking about building a team. Yeah, he tweeted. He said, he doesn't something to the effect of he attracts. He went on his Wolf on Wall Street pedestal, soapbox, and started saying some things that, made it seem like, he's going to bring some people around him somehow. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't.
As you had such an eloquent soliloquy about what's been going on. I would be remiss to say that I did not catch that short from NBA Tonight with Kendrick Perkins and Kenny. And Kendrick Perkins said, "You got Ja Morant has one foot in the grave and another foot on the banana peel."
Damn.
The emphasis on, and I gotta just hold on one second. Just
let the hate flow through you.
I got to be honest with you. It's wild for me to think that someone who probably has insider knowledge, such as Kendrick Perkins and Kenny the Jet Smith, would say something like that in public, because to know that the rookie of the year from less than 5 years ago is possibly not going to get a contract extension. The team can't find someone to take on his contract, but probably not for contract and money reasons, not because of his talent level, but because of who he is as a person and the baggage that he has. That's wild to me. That's wild. But the thing is, I watched so many different things. I saw Michael Irvin and Mike Beasley have a conversation, and Michael Beasley of all people pointed out the fact that it's wild that John Morant's father seems to be an immature person, or not as mature as you would think some other NBA fathers are. So there's nobody to correct the actions, or tell John Morant to make the changes that are necessary. And to me, to hear Michael Beasley say that, Mike Beasley, who in any other instance, if he had two more beans in the can, you know what I'm talking about? If Mike Beasley had two more beans in the can, a little bit more sense, he would still be in the league dropping points right now compared to some of the greats, because everybody knows Michael Beasley is an awesome talent, but he got put out of the league based around his actions and his mental stability. For him to say that about John Morant, I thought that was a lot.
So-
and it means that if Michael Beasley can point out the evidence that something is going on, not just on the court for John Morant, that's holding him back, then it's not something that we're making up. It's not something that these people are making up. There's no way.
So wait,
I gotta go along with it.
let me ask the whole panel. If you're a GM of a team, are you signing John Morant in free agency?
No,
Is
not
it-
me.
Depends on the team. If
Yeah,
I'm
that
the
as well.
Cleveland Cavaliers, no. If I'm the Sacramento Kings, yes. I need somebody who can put butts in seats.
Agree, and
yeah.
that's the whole thing. Somebody like
Yeah.
Sacramento or Utah, maybe, or
Well, not Utah,
somebody-
not now.
not
Not
now.
after the move. Not after the move
Nah.
they made.
Right,
They-
but any
yeah.
team like a Sacramento who is off in the distance of even competing for a title, that's what John Morant's got. That's all he's got left. And if he screws up on off the court, he's going to get his butt cut, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
So
He's
John
gonna
Morant
have to take
like-
he's gonna have to take a Chauncey Billups type detour
Yeah.
to fix his reputation.
Reputation.
And now Chauncey Billups didn't have the John Morant his reputation was he just wasn't living up to his draft status, right? Remember, he was 4th overall pick, he
Right.
wasn't playing up to that level. And then he went to Denver and people saw he was a winner, and then the rest is history. He went on to become Mr. Big Shot, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
John's gonna have to do the same thing. He's gonna have to go somewhere like a Sacramento or Brooklyn, and basically just shut up and play. To for lack of a better term, shut up and play, be a model citizen, and then show teams that you can contribute. Because I mean, the talent is there. Like John Morant is one of the top 5 most exciting players in this league.
Exactly.
And when healthy, him being on the roster literally makes you a playoff team.
Right.
But that availability, whether it be the injury or whether it be you not being available because you're a knucklehead. So yeah, he's got to do some soul searching, man.
Yeah.
What about like a team like Washington?
Hey,
We
there's
already
no
saw what
need.
they
There's no
did. Yeah,
need.
no need.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you what it is, right? And a team like I'm not singling them out, because first of all, we all know John Morant's from South Carolina, and Jay, I feel as though Jay and I know a guy who had really high potential, but for some odd reason would act very similar to John Morant in South Carolina. I think the idea is seriously that you know, when the team or the organization takes on John Morant, they're gonna look at that contract and they're gonna put that clause in there like act a fool and don't get paid. You know what I'm saying? Um, don't get caught outside and lose this money. Like the guarantees are then dwindled into nothing, a percentage, a small percentage of what they would have been. And I'm pretty sure that, and this was my imagination. If the off season arises, the one person or the one organization with that type of structure, top down, where the management will technically tell you to straighten up or get out. We like the Miami Heat, man. Just imagine Pat Riley coming out from the rafters, so to speak, to talk to a player like John Morant, to hold his hand, to walk him down and say, look, I played with tough guys. You know what I'm saying? I've coached real tough guys before. And I need you to be different, you know. And maybe we get John Morant to do something like, you know, cut his hair, change his image a little bit, and then come back and be a different person. But the only reason why I say an organization like Miami is because we have seen, you know, players who we thought were at the top of their game go to Miami and elevate even more because of the structure around the Miami Heat organization. And I
But
think
what I've
Their
heard about
reputation is changing.
I mean, yeah, their
Absolutely.
reputation is changing, but it's still Miami. It's still.
Yeah, but players are like, so you chased away the best player in the game over BS. I'm talking LeBron James at the time when we were competing for championships every year. You refused to pay the best player in the history of your franchise and chased him away. You then chase away Jimmy Butler. This is recently now. Like, people don't give a shit about Heat culture.
But see, that's
They-
all right.
they-
So that's different. That's about money. That's about money and the attitude of a person who was growing. That's about
Exactly,
money.
and his
That
name-
first one
his
was about
name-
money, and then the second one was about attitude.
His
John
name
Morant
is
is
Pat
John
Riley.
Morant's right in there.
Yeah, but his name is Pat Riley. See, it ain't the player, and that's the thing. People like Pat Riley. His name doesn't carry weight like it used to.
Wow.
And the other thing with is, and I've heard Bobby and Wildcat say this on Audible, and I've learned this myself firsthand. It's who you surround yourself with too. It's the people you surround yourself with. And John Morant does not surround himself with good people, and that gets him in trouble too. So, Pat Riley, whatever he says is going to fall on deaf ears. I'm afraid it's going to be up to John, and if he can't figure it out, he's going to be out of the NBA and not have a team to go to.
You know, I'm sure, assume all of us have heard of the old adage, less is more. He needs less good people. All right. He needs, very few good people, like the one or two or three people that'll be in his ear to be like, hey, you need to cut that shit out.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you don't need 10, 20 people saying, oh, you should do this. Because it's like, you have that many voices in your mind, in your head, you go crazy. That's why, in some regards, especially those who struggle with mental health, like myself, only keep a small crowd. Like, I have two best friends that I talk to about everything.
Tanner and
pretty much. Literally, it's a small group. Literally, it's a small group of people that like anything personal comes up, I always talk to them about it. That's the same thing John Morant needs. He needs like that the two or three people that he's really, really close with that are, don't do the stuff that he's been doing and be like, hey, focus on your career, focus on playing basketball, show them why you're one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, but those people are the ones wilding out. Bro, your pops is in the front row trying to fight Shannon Sharp. Your mom is calling you up to foot action to beat up the salesperson. Like, who else you got?
Hey, do you guys know what they call the small town that John Morant is from? Merck City.
In South Carolina.
They call it Merck City. Okay, and he and his family oftentimes display the actions of people from that town. and it's unfortunate. And I'm not saying that there are bad. There are great people in the town of Sumter, awesome people. There are farms. There's farmland. There's a college out there. There's a lot that goes on in Sumter. But John Morant and his family have displayed at one point in time or another some actions that are not of the majority of the people that live there. And I don't want to harp on Ja. I also want to talk about Giannis. This what's going on with Giannis, y'all. Is more of the same thing where the people who want to attach themselves to the Giannis train can't for multiple factors. The bodies, there's not enough bodies, there's not enough picks. The pieces aren't right. We can't get a third team involved, and we've seen and heard. Okay, well, we want Kaminga, but we also want this, and we also want that. So Golden State fell out, and Kaminga is now in Atlanta. I can't wait to talk about that. I heard similar thing happened with Milwaukee, and Miami. It's wild to see that an organization like the Milwaukee Bucks, who literally have done everything to acquiesce to a star play, a transitional star player. I give you the max contract. I give your brother a job. I give your other little brother a job. I give your dad a job in the stadium. They did everything the right way. Yes, they got one championship out of it, but because of the way that the league is having to go, the organization cannot maintain enough of the standpoint to keep the players that are necessary to win a championship. Not unless Giannis takes less money, which Giannis will not. And the whole thing is, in the offseason, does that make for better trade value? To a degree, yes, because there will be less years on the contract. But I'm in the mindset of, hey, Giannis has had 3 of these calf injuries, and he's not dumb. He saw what happened to Jason Tatum in the playoffs when it was, and when Jason Tatum had 2 or 3 calf injuries that year. He saw what's going on with Halliburton. He saw that. He also had several calf injuries. Kevin Durant several years ago. By the time you really want to turn up the knob and be ready for the playoffs, so to speak, if he wanted to, I think he's going to sit out just because he's this calf thing. He doesn't want to turn it into an Achilles.
Three things on the honest front, and I don't know if everybody will disagree with me. The problems with Milwaukee started when they fired Mike Budenholzer. He won him a title. The Bucks were in a great place as an organization, and they fired him. That's number one. Number two, the extra layer on this problem became when Doc Rivers had Adrian Griffin fired. And if anybody says he didn't, they're wrong, because he was the spy and the manager that went to management and said, get rid of Adrian Griffin. He's got to get out. Let me coach the team. And number three, Giannis will never play another minute for the Bucks again. He's done. He's done in the Bucks uniform. He won't play ever again for them. He'll get traded before he plays. So those are the 3 things I think with Giannis. Is this all started when they fired Budenholzer as a coach, which they should never have done. And they'd probably, I'm not saying he'd be there now, but they would have been in a much better position over the last 3-4 years than they are right now as an organization. And I'm a Doc Rivers guy, and I'll tell you right now, Doc Rivers went to management and got Adrian Griffin fired. He got him fired. And they were in a good I think they were in a good place, weren't they? They were winning games and everything.
They were at the time, and I saw this. They were in first, but they just had got on like a losing streak. They just like lost 8 games or 6 games or something. And I just looked at it.
Almost every team happens in the NBA. Almost every team.
That was the report was like they pulled the chain on it way too quickly.
Yeah, and it was Doc Rivers. He was the catalyst behind that because he wanted to coach again, and he said, "Oh, I got Giannis. I can coach Giannis. It's not working out too well, is it?" So,
Giannis thought he was LeBron.
Yeah,
LeBron did the exact same thing when he came back, and we had David Blatt. The only difference is LeBron had at that time knew what it took to win the championship. He'd done so in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
We had just come off losing the finals, and we came back that next season, even though we were still in first place. You had no confidence that if we met Golden State again, we would win. And he went to management and said, we got to make a change. And they fired David Blatt. Tyronn Lue coaches the rest of the season. The rest is history. Giannis tried the same thing, except what he didn't know is Budenhauser was he was the straw to Giannis's elixir, and he underestimated that. He overestimated himself, underestimated the coaching, and I mean, this is just your chickens coming home to roost.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's okay. Wait.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I mean, it's a bad situation to be in because remember this past summer, the Miles Turner deal was so big, was so huge, and it's kind of like an odd man out, in this situation where, he's kind of buried in Milwaukee. Like it didn't really make a difference. I mean, they're beating the Pacers right now. They beat the Pacers, but hey, I mean, who doesn't these days? So I mean, it has been, it was mid. I felt like at the time that was kind of weird for him to leave Indiana, and here he is, and he's going to end up being an odd man out. It's kind of sad. It kind of reminds you of Klay Thompson going to Dallas to play with, to play with AD and to play with Luka, should I say, and play with Luka, and then they get AD, and then now, I've seen the picture of Klay Thompson in the middle of the house for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like Will Smith with no furniture, looking around like it's over. It's sad. It's sad. But what do they do to get out of this mess? And it's like the only reason why it doesn't look like a big mess is because you have Giannis on the team, on the roster. But take him out of this situation and he's no longer a buck. Where do you go from here? Okay, you have less money on the cap. But it's like I said, man, I think Giannis needs to be the dog, the same dog he is on the court. He needs to be that in the conference room. And I think he hasn't been doing that. I think just like he slapped dude in the back of the head, he needs to go into the front office, slap somebody in the back of the head, like get me out of here. And I'm telling you, he would have been gone. But asking Miami or asking multiple teams for 4, 3, 4, 5 first round, picks, it was a bit much. And when you're talking about Miami, kind of quickly to the job thing, and then also with the Giannis, like would they give up that many first round picks with the squad that they have? I'm not saying they have a bad squad. It's just, man, look at this draft. Look at these guys that's going to be eligible for the draft. Do you want to pass up on possibly one of these guys for like basically broker your future for? I don't know about y'all, but everybody had a theory, and of course my team, Portland, they had a theory of, yeah, we get Giannis and we can give up Shaden, we can give up this person, we give up that person. It's like, to me, be honest, he is not that good of a player to give up your sharpshooter, your point guard, your best defender. He's not that dude for me, because I call like Giannis just like I look at Melo. Once the ball goes to him, it's a black hole. So you have to put the right people around him. You know what I'm saying? Because he does what he does, and I don't like the charade of, I guess, having him on the court and it's all him, bully ball, like everybody just standing there watching. Like, again, on a better team, just like Milwaukee had when they won the championship, maybe a lot of things will come about, but I don't have that much confidence in him as a player to broker your future. I don't. Sorry.
I will say this about
Sorry.
Milwaukee right now, in my opinion. You mentioned Fresh Prince of Bel-Air earlier. I always think of, like, when I'm thinking of Milwaukee now, I always think of the scene where Will Smith is like, if we're so rich, how come we can't afford no ceiling? That's basically what the Bucks are right now. Is like, you got all this money around, you got Giannis on the team, but you have nothing else. You have no foundation. And again, It all started, like Bobby said, it all started when they fired their head coach mid-season. They thought they were doing the right thing. Then all of a sudden, there goes Drew Holiday. There goes Chris Middleton. And now you're stuck with Giannis and a bunch of no-names for the most part. And we've seen this season the plummeting, not really full plummet, but the decline in the Milwaukee Bucks come to full fruition. Started with it probably started last year, but it's gone full effect this season because they have not looked good at all this year, in my opinion. So
Yeah, man, it's wild to me that this is happening to Giannis in all actuality. Bobby, you was about to say something, bro?
Yeah, just to Jay, more of a question to Jay. It's like, but at the same time, how can you not ask for that when I just watched Jaren Jackson Jr., who Giannis is better than, go for 3 first-rounders. I saw Rudy Gobert go for 5 first-rounders. I saw Mikal Bridges go for 5 first-rounders. I'm sorry, you don't have a no-trade clause. I don't care what you want. You're at the mercy of whatever I want to do, because at the end of the day, as a GM, my job is also on the line. So I have to get maximum return for you.
Mm-hmm. And not only
when you're talking about Ainge, I kind of and Scott will probably attest to this a little bit. When you're talking about Danny Ainge, you know, he likes to you know what I'm saying, he likes to dibble and dabble. I think those first round picks, he's looking at the roster that he has now. You know, who knows what's going to happen out of, you know, Kessler and you know, you got a young guy out there who's going to be up for signing in a few years, and you know, they're rookie, but it's just and barely. But I don't know. Ainge is a little different. Everybody else, I think, you know, rightfully so, Bobby. You're right, but I think when in the sense of the Jazz, I think Danny Ainge, he'll give some, and somehow he'll end up with some. And that's been his story. He'll give up first round picks, but he will find his way into some.
I mean, from the Bucks GM standpoint,
right? Yeah, you gotta. I mean, you gotta try to ask for a king's ransom. You have to. But in the sense of like of Miami just seemed like they wasn't trying to come up their first round picks, especially, you know, like I said, with both when they saw that they wasn't in the Giannis race, they quickly turned to Ja, and then Memphis said, "Hey, give us a first round pick," and it was like, "Nah, we ain't doing it." So I don't think Miami had any plans with giving, you know, any first round picks unless it was for Giannis somehow, and you know, for that said player, and that's it. I don't know. This is weird. This is the weirdest. It's probably gonna be one of the weirdest off seasons when you talk about draft day, when you talk about, you know, basically moving forward. Who knows what's to come? This is one of the weirdest. You know, they already took a little bit of shine from the Super Bowl when it's trade deadline. So, you know, they did their thing. NBA from Christmas on to now, they kind of made it a little interesting, and I give NBA the props for that.
But it's not only that a trading team that trades for Giannis, and I don't know if they talked about this Tuesday night or on the ESPN dry run show yesterday. You're going to have to give Giannis $275 to $325 million when you trade for him right away. So not only are you trading all those assets and those players, you're also having to give him all that money. So a GM like an Ainge or somebody out there like that is going to say, wait a minute, you want 4 or 5 first-round picks? We got to sign this guy to a $300 million contract. That's the other stumbling block in this. Now, was Minnesota was a hot team. Were they ready to do that? I don't know. I don't know. So that's the thing with with the Giannis trade. With John Morant, you didn't have to give him all that money. With Giannis, you had to pony up the $300 million to give to him to bring him to your team. And were GMs hesitant on doing that? Were they saying, okay, we'll just wait till the offseason before we even entertain trade for Giannis?
Yeah.
That's the thing. So
Everybody, while we're talking money, I'm gonna switch lanes a bit and totally off subject, but this wasn't planned to be talked about tonight. But when we talk about money, I'm thinking about the WNBA, right? Contracts, or should I say, labor disputes. They basically met on the 2nd, right? And this was the first in-person session of the year. They had like a 3-4 hour discussion. And, a lot of players felt that the WNBA had no sense of urgency. They had no counteroffer, none whatsoever. What they came in with, just to go off of, the Giannis and the Ja, and then we'll get in the rest of these trades in a little bit. The deadline, which was what, the January 9th, of course, long gone. They're still saying that they're gonna basically start the season May 9th. They already put the schedule out, and that, they business as usual. But the issues that I have, and I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to what the players have posed and what the WNBA is not coming off of, and kind of is getting a little scary, because the players propose, I think, a salary cap of around 10-11 million, and the WNBA are not coming off of 5 million for a salary cap. Average salary, the WNBA Players Association is asking for an average salary of over 800 grand. WNBA is saying we're not coming off of 530 grand. Way max salaries. We're talking about max salaries are possible like 2.5 million, and then the WNBA is not coming off of 1.3 million. Once again, far apart. Revenue share, WNBA players are asking for 50% of gross revenue, and this is laughable. The WNBA is not coming off of a proposed 15% of revenue. Way far apart. When you talk about travel and benefits, they want charter flights, and we're talking about the players. They want charter flights, they want first class travel, and they want guaranteed contracts, something that the league just refused. When it comes to housing, I didn't know that they were getting basically like subsidies for housing, rather than receiving them. I mean, they're not gonna get anything. They're not giving anything for housing. And I didn't know that was a thing as far as housing is concerned, and like players should shoulder their own housing costs, which I don't know. I don't know about that one. But the union is also seeking the right for pregnant players to refuse trades. And guess what? WNBA is like, nah. And I'm like, damn, man, you mean to tell me that if a player's getting traded and they're pregnant, like the stress of being traded, the stress of having to make a move, God knows where, we have 2 new teams coming in, and what if you get sent to Portland and you're in, well, say New York Liberty.
You're in Atlanta. You're the Atlanta Dream, and you go to Portland.
Yeah, and you get traded to Portland and you're pregnant. I mean, honestly, I didn't know that was really. I don't know. I'm kind of ignorant to this, but I didn't know. Of course, anybody's open to having a family, but I did not know that was such a big thing where they were just moving pregnant players, and I would say against their will, because who would do that? Like, for real, the stress of pregnancy, the stress of being moved, and the stress of having to move your family. That's a lot on a woman. That's a lot. But I I don't see them having a season. I don't see them having a season. Again, they
I
put the
agree with
schedule out. They say they're going to start on May 9th, just like they plan. And for them to be so far apart, like what's the median? Even the median, when you're that far apart, the median doesn't even sound fair. But I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up, before we moved on, man. The WNBA I think is in trouble.
I
And like I
agree with
said, to
what
not have a counter offer. I'm sorry, Scott.
no, I agree with what Bo said. Bo said the WNBA has no leverage in this. It's all in the players. Now we know why the players hate the commissioner, number one, because she's the driving force behind this. And number two, the players could go play for unlimited. They can go play for all these leagues and make more money in these leagues. The WNBA has no leverage, zero leverage in this. The players will not budge off of this, I bet you. I agree with you, Jake. There's no season this year.
And listen,
Salary cap.
oh my bad, Jay. Go ahead.
Yeah, that salary cap. No, but that's alarming when you're talking about a $5 million difference in the salary cap.
Yeah.
From 10.5 and WNBA is not coming off of 5 million. Again, the average salary from 800,000 in WNBA is not coming off of 550, 30 grand or whatever. And then the max salary with the revenue sharing of 1.3 million and opposed to what the WNBA players want, 2.5. 2.5 with no revenue sharing. That's, they trying to be fair here. The WNBA players are trying to be fair. They're like, okay, give us 2.5, no revenue sharing. And the league was like, nah, we give you 1.3 with revenue sharing. So it just seems like they're just gonna keep going back and forth until there's no season. That it's like, me and Scott just mentioned, it's not happening. I don't think it's happening.
No. Adam Silver needs to step in and get rid of Val Ackerman. She seems like she's at the genesis of all this problem.
Adam Silver. Oh yeah, and listen, my side take. Everybody knows me. I really got a chance to get to a deep dive, and I appreciate Bo. Thanks, Bo, for hopping in yesterday when we got a chance to go to ESPN 690. While we were getting things set up, both Scott and Bobby got a chance to hear Bo's take. Bo is in the Seattle locker room and gym, and in every pretty much arena. If it's around Seattle, Bo goes. He gets to hear a lot of these conversations. One of the things I took from him was that, and I was, just the idea of gross versus net, right? Once the revenue sharing is solved, the rest will fall into place. But they can't agree. Just like Jay said, even the median is far off. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the middle ground is still not where the price point should be, especially when it comes to the level of notoriety that these women have played up to. And when I talk about these women, I mean the names go on and on. We could talk about the Asia Wilsons, we could talk about the Paige Buchers, we could talk about the Nafisa Colliers, so much so, Breonna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, and Nafisa Collier's husband is a lawyer and a money man, and all of this and that. They went and built their own league to display how much in control they want to be of their future. I think, that, like, they always tell you how strong women are, and we always talk about, men could never have, kids and stuff like that. We all NBA fans. Just imagine if, Patrick Ewing and Michael Jordan and Sean Kemp, the stars of the NBA of the late 90s, when that lockout season happened, got together and said, you know what, we're gonna play basketball in Hawaii or something, and we're gonna have our own league. Just imagine how much cohesion that would have taken. But the women did it in a short amount of time, with so much cooperation that I am interested that once the unrivaled season gets, like, maybe to its midway point or conclusion, I'm interested in see what the unrivaled numbers are compared to what they were last year in their inaugural year. Is it better? Is it worse? You know, are the
But
numbers
all
up?
of this with raised attendance, you know what I'm saying, and more media outlets, which they're bringing in more media money, and the attendance is better. And they still not coming off of these things. And something I forgot to mention, because I totally forgot they don't have a draft combine. Well, guess what?
No, you know,
If you choose as a player, as a rookie, if you choose not to report to the draft combine for any reason that is unexcused, they will cut half of your salary. Come on, man.
But
That's a lot of control.
Bobby, is Angel Wilson a free agent this year? Is she under contract with the Aces?
I think she might be one of the few that
He's
is.
on mute. Bobby's on mute.
Oh, he got to unmute himself. He muted himself. I didn't.
But the point I'm trying to get at when Bobby unmutes himself, if Angel Wilson is a free agent and the WNBA goes into a season, she could get the largest contract in WNBA history.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, she got one more year left.
She has one more year left. Okay.
She's one of the few stars that will be under contract.
Okay.
This coming season.
But when she's up, when she renegotiates, she's going to get the largest contract I think in WNBA history. Her and Caitlin Clark. She's going to have the two largest.
As no, she's going to be an unrestricted free agent.
Okay.
In 2026. So
well, the Aces would do
after the season.
The Aces would do themselves a huge favor once they settle this to sign her right away.
Yeah, got to. Hey guys, we're creeping into the top of the first hour, so I want to make sure hey, we got to make sure everybody knows this is the Rec Room Sports Crew. This is our other show on Fridays. This is In the Hoop, where we talk around the world of basketball. Thanks, Jay, for bringing up that caveat right there. The WNBA, of course, and women's basketball is a huge part of what we do here at the Rec Room Sports Crew. I can't wait to get more in depth, especially in March as we get closer to the March Madness and the college basketball season and the tournaments and things of that nature. So I would be remiss to not make sure you were aware of who's on the panel today. We got my guy, my friend, my good uncle, gives me all kinds of numbers if I was to ask for him. We got Scott Cole in the building. Scott, man, got a chance to view that Boston game. I can't wait to hear more about it. But we won. You said by 2 points?
Yeah, they were down 20 in the first half, and they came back. So okay. Jaylen Brown 29 points. I mean,
Jaylen Brown another 29 points.
Then
of course we got the man behind the wheel. We got our guy Jay the MIC. Jay was really good, man. Thanks for bringing up that WNBA stuff. We definitely need to have a conversation about that.
Tar. Come on, y'all. Help somebody help me out. Thank you. Thank you, Alex.
Of course, man, we got my guy, everybody knows, Rookie of the Year sensation, comeback player from 2025-26. Of course, we got AP Allen. What it do? Thanks for showing up again. We know, hey, we always appreciate you being here, dog. We got to give you some props.
3-time Rookie of the Year. I'll take it. I love it.
Wait a minute. How are you 3-time Rookie of the Year?
Then of course, man, we got Audible Bobby G, man, always working the double on the Friday, man. Bobby G, man, you know what I'm saying? Thanks for showing up yesterday. We really appreciate you. In the nick of time you were there. And we still got more to do, bro. So we still working.
Absolutely. Ain't nobody trying to hear that Tar Heel madness. Get out of here. And Jaylen Brown sucks, man. Jaylen Brown's terrible.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Yeah, just on that note, you know what I'm saying?
Don't see. He just it ain't hate. It ain't hate. let me tell you about those 29 points. He 29 points on 25 shots. He was 7 for 3, and he was a minus 16 for the game.
Hey,
there is a prop in the Super Bowl. Number of Jaylen Brown threes versus the number of, I forget what it was, but I'm going with the football game because Jaylen Brown can't hit more than 2 or 3 threes in the game. It's like reasonable. I'll try to find it.
Hey, Jaylen Brown play old school basketball, man. He get in the paint, he gets a layup, he gets fouled. goes to the free throw line, and then he drops 3 or 4 threes somewhere in the second half of the game. That's old school, man. That's
Hey,
one of the things I like
speaking
about him.
of
I can't lie.
speaking of old school basketball, y'all know what hasn't happened since the year 1999? 1999?
Portland made the playoffs. What? That's real.
See, Bobby, I was gonna basically speak towards Nipple and the Charlotte Hornets basically being winners of 8 games in a row, man,
Oh,
for the first
that as
time
well.
since
Oh.
1999. You know,
1999
I
was that
remember
the last time Chauncey won a bet? 1999.
Wow. Wow.
hey,
More
yeah,
more
he
Portland
bet
slander.
on Anthony Simons just like y'all did. Just saying, man. No deep.
He's a
That was quick, man. That was pretty quick. I wonder why. I told y'all, man. But we were laughing at. We didn't really laugh at the Hornets, but we brought up the Hornets the last show, and we looked at the record and was like, oh, don't worry about it. And hey, they're still not at 500, but they look a hell of a lot better record-wise than, and they won 8 straight since then, basically. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, man. And I mean, we're talking about they beat Houston, they beat OKC, they beat Golden State, San Antonio, Philly, Orlando. Like they had some pretty convincing wins. You know, against the good teams, they're pretty close, but they had some pretty good wins, man. And what do we make out of these guys? You know, that's the question. And then getting a player like Kobe, Tar Heel, you know, a little bit of scoring punch. I don't know, man. They looking pretty dangerous, and they added some pieces. So I mean, Hornets, man, Hornets.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have me a purple and teal hat sooner or later. If Portland does not do what they're supposed to do, we've lost ever since I said they were the best team in 2026. They haven't won a game yet. Well, since then,
That's right.
should I say?
You know what scares me about this is that everybody just talks about Charlotte. Everybody loves Charlotte. Every podcast, every show, every NBA talk, it's always, boy, those Charlotte Hornets. We love those Charlotte Hornets. We love the way they play. We love this. We love that. I mean, eventually it's going to turn to they're going to lose, and it's going to be like, oh, see, we knew Charlotte would lose. We just, so. But
What was the last game they lost?
had to be early December, early January, I would think, right?
That y'all don't follow this up, y'all. Don't follow this up. Y'all don't.
I'm just curious.
Don't.
8 games, that's a long time.
Yeah, 8 games is probably early January.
Nice
Yeah.
2-week win streak.
I get it now.
Right.
What was it, Alan? What was the last game they lost?
I don't know. Some team in Cleveland, I guess. Some team in Cleveland.
yeah.
No. Can Charlotte make the play-in? Do we think Charlotte gets in the play-in?
Play-in?
Yeah.
Play-in?
I mean, right now,
in
Chef.
the East, yeah. I think they're 10th right now.
Yeah, they're in 10th.
But
Are they
yeah,
10th?
Yeah.
yep. And yeah, I think so.
Can they stay? They can stay in there?
Yeah, I would favor them
Look.
over because you're competing with the Hawks, the Bulls, the Bucks, the Wizards.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, we talk about the Hawks. The thing is, the funniest thing to me about Melo, and I'm sorry, he deserves it now. You know, he goes against everything that Red Auerbach taught in those videos. Like, he
You mean
is
those
not.
1960s videos, black and white? Is that the ones you're talking about?
him having those instructional videos, man. I'm looking at this
I remember
dude
those.
hopping off of 1 foot, throwing up, you know, like it's crazy, man, to see a player that talented, very unconventional. And That's pretty cool, man. I like. It's just when they last were in the playoffs, it kind of stunk up the place. So I hope they don't run out of gas, when they make it in or whatever the case may be. I think they can get past playing. I believe so, but it's just that first round. What happens from there? Are we going to see the same team? That's the question.
I love Brandon Miller. I think Brandon Miller's
yeah.
game's phenomenal. He's a stud, complete stud.
Hot take. LaMelo Ball be traded in the offseason.
Isn't his brother a free agent right now? Isn't
Yeah.
Lonzo free agent? He got cut.
Yeah.
He got cut today.
Yeah, he got cut
Yeah.
today.
They will trade LaMelo Ball in the offseason.
To Cleveland?
LaMelo Ball in the
I don't know where. I'm not saying where. He'll get traded. I wouldn't want him in Cleveland.
He's going to Oklahoma City.
God no.
You don't want him, Alan?
Nah, I'm good.
For
By the way,
first round?
they've won 10 of the last 12 games. Their only 2 losses were to Golden State and Cleveland.
Wow.
And and then two wins next to that, they beat Denver and the Lakers in LA.
I know they just
during
beat
that
San
stretch.
Antonio. I know they just beat San Antonio, which is a really good win. It's a really good win.
Well,
But
it's funny that you guys bring that up because San Antonio beating certain teams is always a big deal, and that is a segue into our next talking point. Sorry, Alan, I had to put that on you just a little bit. I apologize.
Alan, he didn't say what team. He just said certain teams. He did not say what team.
Right? Yeah, I didn't say who. I didn't say a name, but it is a big deal. So speaking of deals,
Gotcha, bitch.
who made the bigger deal? I feel like this is a trick question, not necessarily a trick question, but in terms of the answer, there's multiple answers depending on the standpoint of both the team who received and did the receiving. Which way can we format this? For example, I'm just gonna go off the top right here, right? So in one of the trades that I was really interested in, because this was somewhat of an ongoing saga that I felt like just didn't have an end at one point in time. I was interested in this Jonathan Kuminga to Atlanta for Kristaps trade because, Kristaps, if I'm not mistaken, has only played about 16 or 17 games.
Yeah.
Jonathan Kuminga, when Jimmy Butler goes down with the ACL tear, Jonathan Kuminga was put into the rotation when he wasn't put into rotation, and immediately the team looks as though it picked up some energy. Then he kind of strained his calf. He has a knee strain, and then he sits back down. I don't know what either of them will get. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my point. It's a big deal, but I don't know what Atlanta's going to get but right now Atlanta is trending towards a younger, more athletic, like 2 through 5 can be switched. Don't screen for nobody. You want to know why? Because it's damn near the same person going to be in front of you. All athletic, all long guards will be in front of you after you come off of that screen. I don't care which one of them it is. And then in the standpoint of Golden State, they have Al Horford. So just like in Boston, we're gonna pair Al Horford and Kristaps together again. 2 centers who are good around the perimeter, but of course Kristaps, when healthy, played a huge part in Boston's defending the rim during their championship run. So it is, and what the point I'm making is, were both sides of the coin somewhat holding themselves back because, hey, look, I don't fit in here anyway. Kristaps didn't really fit in Atlanta. Kuminga was being held back by Steve Kerr. So the biggest deal is that one to me, because both teams will get somebody who will probably reinvigorate themselves, acquiesce to the team and the culture, what they really want to do. Porzingis, who can shoot, will go to a team who does nothing but shoot. Kuminga, who is long and athletic, will go to a team full of players who are, guess what? Long and athletic. Like it's a win-win situation for both sides, and I'm truly interested to think about what it will be when you think of the starting lineup for the Atlanta Hawks. Like, come on, guys, it's amazing that this is not one of the large. I mean, yeah, of course, when it happened, it was pretty big, I'm sure. But when I think about the Atlanta Hawks and the starting fives and who they could put out on the court together and how that pretty much eventually can change the dynamic of what we see in the Eastern Conference. Because, of course, everybody has their own opinions. The East is wide open. The East has this, the East has that. But somehow, some way, when we put the teams together and you look at like a depth chart and then you go Dyson Daniels, Nikhil Alexander Walker, Zachary Richard, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, and then Bow on the bench. You got Buddy Hield and Jonathan Kaminga, Jock Landale, who like had a really great trade story, and CJ McCollum. Like that's like 9 players that I think I could count on right now if I really wanted to play a basketball game. So, and then of course on the other side with Golden State, it's Steph Curry and a team of young up and coming players. I really feel like this is a great deal for both sides. And there is another one I want to talk about, but I don't want to ramble too long, guys. Where else is there a bigger deal than the trade between Golden State and Atlanta?
Take Harden's deal out of it. I absolutely love the Atlanta Hawks in 2027. I think if Atlanta can somehow miss the playoffs and get a top 10 draft pick in a loaded draft class, an absolutely loaded draft class, and get a stud in the draft in the first round, the Hawks could be competing for the number 1 seed in the East as quickly as next year. That's how much I think the trade makes them. They're young and athletic and up and coming. And I think next year could be Detroit, Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, and Charlotte all battling in the top 5 for a number 1 seed next year.
Wow.
Not this year, next year.
That's wild. We didn't even say Orlando. We didn't even get to that, but
Orlando disappoints me way too much. I don't think Orlando is as good as people say. I just do. They're a disappointing team.
I got another one, and it's another team that you didn't name, and I'm gonna get to that one. Yeah, I like it. I like the idea though, Scott, for sure.
Yeah.
The sad thing is that's not going to happen. It's not, because not only did they get everything that they got Kuminga, they got basically right now you could definitely say that arguably the about to say the Falcons. Wow, the Hawks are the most athletic team in the league, and the sneaky trade that they made with Portland for Drop Reef. Listen, I've watched this dude. Atlanta has been looking for a big body bruiser forever that could come off the bench and lay down the law. I don't know what kind of minutes he's going to get in Atlanta, but he shoots from the outside. He can stretch the floor, but he is definitely a role player that brings a lot of energy, an energy guy. Atlanta has been missing an energy guy forever. Forever. I don't see them. I don't see them falling off this trade unless Kuminga gets hurt. But here's the thing: Kristaps wasn't playing, so I mean, even if they did lose a Kuminga, I think he's pretty healthy. He's fairly healthy. I think, man, this team can make noise. I don't think we haven't been able to see anything yet, but I think this team, this is what, when you got a Quinn Snyder, I think Quinn Snyder can basically get the best out of Kuminga. When we're talking about somebody, he's 24 years old? 20?
Yeah, I think he's 24.
Basically,
24.
Like, it's so much upside, man. It's so much upside in his game. And, who knows what Steve Kerr had a problem with Some say that he didn't stretch the floor like he wanted. He didn't have the spacing that should I say that he some things that just didn't make sense to me.
He didn't like
But
Kaminga. He didn't like him.
yeah, right,
Like
basically. And I just feel that
And we've seen
him
that.
going to Atlanta, right? Him going to Atlanta and then them trading, a guy off the bench who was a pretty good 3-point shooter, and I don't want to mess his name up, man. Y'all help me with these names, yo. Is it real?
Recess J? Recess J? Is that
Rishon
who?
No, no,
Shan,
no, 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 no,
Shakari,
no,
Rishon
no,
Shan.
no, 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 no.
Somebody else?
Talking about the guy. No, it's Chrissy.
Kispert,
It was a dude that came off the bench.
Corey Kispert.
Vit, man. His
Corey
name.
Kispert.
No, Vit. They got rid of Vit. Krishki. I think it's Krishki. Anyway,
All right, sure.
Yeah.
Krejci. Don't know,
Yeah, that guy.
but
that guy.
yeah,
That
that
guy.
one.
him. But they got rid of him off the bench. Like I said, man, they get an energy guy who plays hard, and he can stretch the floor. Very great role player for what Atlanta needs, and they've been missing for a while. I think they can creep up to no lower than 6. No lower than 6.
The
in the
reason I
East.
say next year is we talked about it earlier in the show. This calf thing with Kaminga, calf scares me to death on a basketball team.
Right.
It just scares me to death. So if I was Atlanta, I would sit him out until he's definitely 100%.
Just sit him down.
You have to. Because what can the calf strain turn into? Torn Achilles.
Torn Achilles,
Something
man.
like that. Yeah, so it
Yeah,
scares
that's
me to
scary when you get a calf nowadays. Nowadays, you're right. High ankle sprain, or it's like when I hear those 2 injuries, it's like, you know what? Just chill out.
Yeah.
We'll let you know. But I don't know, man. Like, we'll see what comes out of it. The Cavs doing what they did, having a bigger body at the point guard position. And Harden, and I think more of a assertive scorer, knowing when to facilitate and knowing when to shoot the ball.
Mhm.
I think Bobby could speak to this more than I can. The gripes that's been with Garland, other than injury. And then I would say Harden's a little more durable. You know what I mean? So Cleveland is gonna get a lot better. You don't have to depend on Donovan to be the distributor, to facilitate, and then take over games. Like, it's just not as much attention on him. You actually have a Harden out there that can distribute, facilitate, and Donovan could still pick his spots. I just really feel like that's pretty big, man. Garland, Bobby, like, tell me if I'm right or wrong, but like Bobby, I mean, as far as Garland, he just didn't know. It was just like he played well, and then there was times where it's like, what are you doing? You could have did this, you could have did that, you could have been more assertive. You could have took a little bit more pressure off of Mitchell. And with Harden, we know what we're gonna get. He'll get you to a 7th game. But how it goes in the 7th games with James Harden. So like he'll get you there. It's just up to the Cavs what else can be done. And then you got Mobley. When you're talking about the screen and roll that Harden was out there running in LA, it was very efficient. When you get Mobley back out there, you got Allen out there. I just really feel like he's gonna strive with these 2 players, you know what I'm saying, and just pick a role. And then the young guys will step in, the Tysons, and then you got Strus still out here. You know what I'm saying? I think Strus gonna come. I honestly think that he's gonna come whenever he comes back, he's gonna be like man on fire for some reason. But I like what the Cavs did. I mean, they just went for it. They went for they knocked it out the park. They went for the big swing, and hopefully it pays dividends for them.
For all the Cavs had, Bobby knows this. Do you guys realize how many games the Cavs are out of 2nd place in the East?
2.5.
2.5 for all the problems they had. They got a great shot
Right.
at getting the 2 seed. And
Right.
Bobby and Mike talked about that the other day on the 216. I call it Little Love. So I think the Cavs are in a great position to get number 2 seed.
Yeah, but both of my contemporaries are wrong, and here's why. Anybody remember Florida Gulf Coast University?
Yes. Went to
Oh
the Final Four.
man,
The
You remember,
Dunkers.
you remember what the nickname was?
Was
Dunk
it?
you.
Oh,
Dunk you.
Dunk you. That's right.
I was
Dunk
gonna
you.
say Lob City. But
That's the Atlanta Hawks.
They was
But this ain't college. And unfortunately, I said, Jay, I hear you, and I want to be there with you when you say that they can finish no lower than 6. And I hear you, Scott, when you say they can compete for the number 1 seed. But my question is, they have 0 shooting.
Hmm.
What are you going to do when teams just sit back and teams aren't just going to let 5 guys just drive on them and
True.
put it on their head all game long.
they got Buddy Hield,
especially
man.
wow, they have Buddy Hield.
This is his about 19th team
What?
in the NBA so far, right?
They have Buddy Hield. Said
He's
nobody ever.
gonna
Buddy Bucket, man. Buddy Bucket.
Hey,
I don't know what it is with Buddy Bucket.
Hey, don't disrespect Buddy Hield now.
I knew you was gonna say something, Alan. That's that Oklahoma talk
Alan,
right there, man.
Did he go to Oklahoma? Is that why he did not disrespect him?
Yeah, the Oklahoma legend Buddy Hield. Respect.
The only other question I have is I love Jalen Johnson. And if you guys recall, I told you guys last season, if the Hawks were smart, they would trade Trey Young and build around Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
I guess somebody in their front office watches in the hoop, because that's exactly what happens this season. But the question is, he's taking a step. He took a step last season. He took another step this season. Who's going to be that second guy? If they don't have that, you really think Kuminga's going to take that kind of step to be a Jaylen Brown to his Jason Tatum? No, no, not in one season. And I love Jonathan Kuminga. I remember Jonathan Kuminga came from the Las Vegas G League team, so I've watched him since. I remember him and Jalen Green were on the same team, and I was like, he's going to be the overall better basketball player than Jalen Green. Jalen Green can get a bucket, but Kuminga's ceiling as a player way higher than Jalen Green. But I don't see him taking that kind of leap by next season. So that's your question. And if you're counting on a potential rookie you're bringing in to be that, unless it's one of the top 3 guys in the draft,
Yeah.
I could see it taking I know this guy said 27. I could see it taking until 29. By 29, that's when I become afraid of the Hawks. But the next couple of years, there's too many experienced teams who are like the Cavs are showing you. They're pushing their chips in for the next 2 years. Boston is showing you they're pushing their chips in to make a run over the next 2 seasons. Indiana. Remember, they're going to get healthy next year, and I love the trade that they made to get Vincent Zubac.
Absolutely.
Halliburton's coming back next season.
Absolutely.
Like those are 3 teams, and the Pistons are going to get better. So, it's going to be hard for the Hawks over the next couple of seasons. I'm not saying beyond that, I'll give it to them, but the next couple of seasons, they're going to have to settle for some 6 seeds or less. Play in, give them good time to learn. As far as the Cavs, Jay, everything you said is accurate. Yeah, Harden is going to pay dividends mostly for Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Mostly Jared Allen, because as the rotation goes, he'll probably spend more court time with Allen than Mobley. I can see Kenny. That's the way he's running rotation. He's running it with the sub pattern was Mitchell and Evan played together, and Darius Garland and Jared Allen played together because they were better in the pick and roll. And plus, James Harden, he loves rim runners, right? So
Mhm.
Mobley is you still want him to handle the ball and kind of freelance to be able to do his thing. He can do that more with Donovan than he can with James Harden. Um, so that'll be that rotation. But you're absolutely right. When it comes to the playoffs, Donovan's gonna love being able to say to go to the bench and not have to worry about, hey, we just got this lead up to 8 and come back in the game and we're down 4. Like you can go to the bench, get rest without worrying about the lead just dissipating and then having to be Superman. And as far as James Harden's playoff woes, this is the way I look at it. Harden, hey, your job is quarter 1, 2, and 3. Quarter 4, turn that thing over to Donovan.
Yeah.
He's leading the NBA in second half scoring and leading the NBA in fourth quarter scoring. Remember, Donovan's problem in the playoffs isn't that he doesn't perform. It's just that his teams haven't gotten over that hump. He's performed in games. The team just hasn't gotten the W. So, you know,
The-
uh, this is a big. The finish of this season is really big
yeah.
for not only the roster but Kobe Altman, the GM. If
Yeah.
this don't work out,
Mm-mm.
yeah, he could be looking for a job.
The
Okay.
thing
They-
that
like,
the thing that Harden does for the Cavs is he'll get the ball to Donovan Mitchell in the spots that Donovan Mitchell can shoot and hit shots. He's the facilitator of the team. He's the point guard, the point
Yeah.
forward, so to speak. Point guard, point forward, whatever you want to call it. He will get Donovan Mitchell. If Donovan Mitchell wants it in the corner, he's going to get it to him in the corner. Donovan Mitchell wants it in the wing, he's going to get it to him in the wing. The reason why Donovan Mitchell has struggled in fourth quarters, in some fourth quarters in games, is because he's too
exhausted.
tired.
Yeah,
He's too tired. He does way too much.
Way too
And now
much.
he won't have to. Now it's James Harden. As Bobby said, James Harden gets them through three quarters, and then they say to Donovan, "Okay, Donovan, it's your time. Let's go."
Yeah.
There you
We're
go.
right.
The other thing that really helps us, and I don't know if he'll win it. I doubt if he'll win it, but I'm hoping he's at least a finalist for most improved player. Jalen Tyson coming out of nowhere. This dude is leading the NBA in 3-point shooting. I think last year he shot like 29%. And as of a few days ago, I think he's shooting 47% this season. Really, he put the work in to get better. He's everything that we thought Isaac Okoro could be. And to get that help, he's averaging 15 points a night. Plus, he can handle the ball. He's an excellent rebounder for his position. I like to call him our version of Josh Hart. Yeah, he is going to be the X factor against any team we play in the playoffs because he gives us that. Regardless of what Evan does and Allen does, he'll be that consistent third. And I like to Jay's point, I think him improving is what's going to make Strus whenever he comes back. That's what's going to make him play like because you lost your spot. You lost your spot to a dog.
Yeah, coming off the bench.
Yeah. And Strus is a dog himself. He got some dog in him. So yeah, he can go take it like he gonna come back trying to show up and show out. So yeah, Jay's right in that.
Hey man, and I'm gonna close it out with just a trade I thought was cool. Yeah, because Bobby pretty much stole mine with this Vika Zubac going to the Pacers. That was my real answer.
My bad, sir.
Nah, it's all good. Yeah, Halliburton's gonna come back. You're gonna have a real center. Remember the last time the Pacers had a real center? Shout out to Roy Hibbert. I feel like Zubac is way better than Roy Hibbert, but I remember that time way back when it was Roy Hibbert and the Pacers were one of those teams in the East. But for real, I really think that in the long run, this trade, which happened kind of in the dead of the night, I really don't really remember seeing it until like I woke up the next day. But Jose Alvarado going to the Knicks, bro. Like, I think that's a big deal because the things that Jalen Brunson does not do well is exactly what Jose Alvarado does. He can get on the ball. He's going to agitate your point guard. He's going to play defense. He's going to make sure, that the person bringing up the ball has somebody in their face. And then, of course, the Knicks have been working really a lot on defense and a lot on their traps. So they're getting guys put in corners coming up the ball. And you know how it is. they're waiting on the screen, so they turn their back, and then boop, when you turn your back the other way, here comes another Nick player to make sure that you give the ball up, and then Josh Hart loves getting those tip balls and pause and igniting the fast break. That's what Josh Hart does. Josh Hart plays safety a lot because the Knicks do a lot of these corner traps, and then as soon as whomever it is trying to get the pass to the open player, Josh Hart comes off of his man, tips the ball, down goes the Knicks, and they're on the other end of the court. But I digress. We're going to continue and do what we do.
I got an interesting pick here, Whit. I'm sorry not to cut you off, but
what pick you got? What you got?
I got interesting. Look, I'm not one to get religious on a show like this.
But you about to get religious.
But if you're a Mormon right now in the city of Salt Lake City in Utah, I like the next couple of years for the Utah Jazz. Not saying that they're going to be world beaters, but the West is getting older, aside from OKC and San Antonio. You're going to have guys in the latter generation, guys like Steph and LeBron leaving soon. I kind of like the moves that the Jazz made, to be honest. Jaren Jackson, nice piece to build around. They got a couple decent picks coming up. Next couple years, it's not going to be immediate, but I think the Utah Jazz could be building something. It's going to be fun to watch them here in the next couple of years.
Who's running the Jazz?
Oh yeah, we know who's running the Jazz, right, Scott?
He built one organization.
Ooh, I'm the ghost of Danny Ainge.
Don't forget about Dwayne Wade.
The one thing I will
say, D Wade's in there, making some type of decision too. But
the one thing I'll say about the Ainge family, they know talent. And when they see talent, they'll go get it.
Alan made mention of the Mormons, and I thought he said, "Do you know what?" I said, "What about Mormons?"
I almost said BYU.
That fucking religion, that was it for me. I was really nervous where that was going.
Anyway, guys, we got to get to this last one, man. So, of course, everybody's aware, man. February rolled in, and this is the time of the year that we get to celebrate people of color. Even though we say Black History Month, and we're celebrating, the pioneers of multiple sports genres. The inaugural Pioneers Classic took place for Boston. And of course, it was held in classic fashion when we got a chance to honor the NBA's first Black players. And of course, the game celebrated Chuck Cooper, the first Black player drafted by the Celtics, Earl Lloyd, the first Black player to appear in an NBA game, and Nat Sweetwater Clifton, first Black player to sign an NBA contract. Their families, of course, were honored during the pregame. They had commemorative jerseys. They had special warm-up T-shirts, a custom trophy, which, of course, was given to Jaylen Brown. And, some of the, legendary families of Celtics lore were there. Bill Russell's daughter, the family of Red Auerbach. It was a lot to behold. But then, of course, the game was to be commemorated by, great basketball player at the time. And this is one of those moments in which I what caught my attention was the play of Anthony Simons, who went for 27, went for 6 to 10 a deep. Jaylen Brown, of course, with 30.13 rebounds, 30.13 rebound game. Like, there was a lot going on, but for the league to take another step in the direction of equality or commemoration of equality, I think that was huge, man. So when we think about Lloyd, Cooper, and Clifton back in the 1950s, we heard a lot about what they had to go through, especially like the next person that we can think of whose image looms larger than life was Bill Russell and what he had to go through. There was so much going on for those players. So I think it's just right that they get their just due, and we give them the honor and respect that they deserve for being pioneers of the game. And it was I think something that we definitely need to celebrate in other cities around the league as well.
I know it was tough around the league, but it was Bill Russell is Boston, obviously. Um, the stories he tells, phenomenal stories. He had it extremely tough in Boston when he first got here in the '60s. He there were places that wouldn't allow him to go into, restaurants, public places, some libraries, some other places. They would not allow Bill Russell in because of the color of his skin. I think the NBA does a fantastic job, better than any other sports league, in recognizing their history, their black history, the history of any other teams. I mean, we go back to even college, Kentucky, the black team that won the championship. I mean, was
Wester.
Haskins. Yeah, with Haskins as the coach, Don Haskins. So to me, it's just amazing what the NBA does, and things like this put them apart from any other league. I mean, you don't see any other leagues doing stuff like this except the NBA. So I give NBA a lot of credit. Plus, the NBA channel on Sirius that I have has every time the Black History February month hits, every day at some point they're having a 30-minute program on the history of basketball through the eyes of the black athlete in the NBA, and it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So
Oh,
Yeah. I have, unless I mean just same same here, man. It's just some of the stories, and if y'all go on NBA.com, they actually have some of the stories, some of the quotes that each one of them basically to their times, because you got to think about it. What Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in '47, and so like 3 years passed by, and they said, like, in one of their quotes, they were saying that it wasn't as much hate, but I mean there were definitely instances where Johnny Red Kerr, who used to be one of the announcers for the Chicago Bulls, I believe he was his teammate. He was whose teammate was he? He actually was. I want to say he was Lloyd's teammate. Um, Basically, he was talking about an instance where um, they were in. Actually, Lloyd was saying basically he was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and they stayed at a hotel. They let him sleep at the hotel, but they wouldn't let him eat.
Mm.
Um, so like he figured basically, with him being able to sleep there and not being able to eat there, he at least was halfway home. And that kind of sucks where you're getting some kind of hope of still being shut out, not, treated unfairly, but you have some hope in the fact that, okay, well, they let me sleep here. So, but Johnny Red Kerr was talking about a game in Fort Wayne, Indiana, where they were celebrating a win, and he had his arm around Earl Lloyd, and fans started spitting on him, on both of them. And basically, it, it wasn't because, of course, they won the game. They were trying to spit at Earl, and it's just another situation where Lloyd was actually refused service in certain restaurants. So I believe the coach at the time in Washington, which was Horace McKinney, he basically waited. He did not eat at the restaurant, but he would eat with Earl Lloyd. He would go back and eat with Earl Lloyd and make sure he had basically a one-on-one dinner with him every time they were out. And it's just there were a lot of great gestures by others, but still they had a lot to Lloyd. I think came up in oh, excuse me, not Lloyd, but McKinney was born in, I think he came up in Wake Forest, North Carolina in like the 30s and 40s. And, so he kind of had a big understanding of what the Deep South was. I guess North Carolina, hey, it's considered the South. I wouldn't say Deep South compared to Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana, and but they went through a lot, man. They went through a whole lot, and it's just seeing how far we've come, and you know like they said, some of the guys, they pretty much said that if he used to go to they used to go to people and say like, hey, I was the first black basketball player to start, or I was the first one to get drafted. And he said like people used to look at him like, what? It's so it's just amazing. Like, I think he was like 70 years old and he was telling people that, and people just didn't understand how close that was to that time where he wasn't able to do certain things, or each one of them weren't able to do certain things with their teammates, or they got treated a certain way, and they had to kind of cut corners in some type of way to make sure that they were at least treated fairly. They got to eat. In some situations, again, you get to sleep at a hotel but you don't get to eat. It's just, I don't know, man. It's when y'all get a chance, man, it's on NBA.com, about all three of them one by one, and stories that they had, as far as the things that they dealt with. It's very, very enlightening. And I had no idea, what I'm saying. I'm gonna be honest, like I really had no idea what these guys' stories until like very recent. So, and it's pretty big, man, that will come. And then we look at Russell, we look at Kareem, we look at other players in football. We look at Jim Brown. It's so many. It's crazy. They paved the way for them. You know what I mean? And that's all we hear about is the, again, Bill Russells, Jim Browns, the Muhammad Ali's, the everything that they've been through. And it's like somebody always had it worse. And in that case, this case, it was them. They had it worse. But like I said, only 3 years removed from Jackie Robinson. But it didn't move into the game of basketball until 1950, and people still weren't ready for that. And so it was great, man, that they were honored in that manner, in that fashion. At least they were honored, and their families got to be honored, and all of that, man. That was pretty big.
For sure, for sure,
Yeah.
man. Listen, when it comes to, I think Scott said it best. When it comes to Black History Month, the NBA is definitely one of the premier leagues as far as representation. So
Yeah.
so kudos to them for sure. And then for real, I didn't know this, but the NHL does a good job too. The NHL does a good job. You wouldn't know that, but the book and the story Black Ice, very
Say their
popular.
Black History just started like last year, didn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but they have a lot of stuff that they put into it. Canadian black hockey is a real thing. I mean, G, speaking of Black history, man, tell us what you was gonna say anyway, because since we didn't get a chance to hear about it.
Oh no, I was just going to speak on the Jacksonville Redcaps. It's a Negro League team down in Jacksonville. Uh, in I believe 1949, if I remember correctly. Played their inaugural season, and actually, I mean, it connects. I didn't know it at the time. In doing a little research, I found out it connected. It did connect to me after their first season, due to uh, not a lot of success on the field and attendance. They actually relocated to Cleveland and ended up becoming the Cleveland Black Bears. And then a few years later, a new iteration of the Red Caps was put back in Jacksonville, and they continued to play from there. So, but it was basically just a bunch of guys who worked the railroads down there, created their own baseball team. And while they were working their day jobs on the railroads, they wore red hats, and that's why the name Red Caps came from. And so I just found that very interesting. That was something I didn't know, and it was, yeah, like baseball. I don't want to say do better, But it's just like Scott and Jay said, man. The NBA does a better job of tying things together. It's like you don't hear one story without hearing another and another and another.
Yeah.
And it's like Jay was speaking and he mentioned Jackie Robinson. It was great. We all know April 15th, Jackie Robinson Day. But does anybody know what June 5th is?
Isn't that
It wasn't the Roberto Clemente incident, was it?
No, it was Larry Doby.
Oh, Larry Doby.
Jackie Robinson was in the
Oh.
National League. Larry Doby actually was the first black player in the American League. But
Ah.
and literally a month and a half after Jackie Robinson, so they went through those trials and tribulations together. But a lot of people don't know because baseball
That's
just focuses, Jackie's got the
Jackie.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like if baseball should do a better job of just linking one story with the next, with the next, with the next. So hell,
I never
the
knew his
NBA,
last name. I thought his last name was something else.
Larry Doby. Yeah, I mean the NBA is gone
Yeah.
as far as after the whole Donald Sterling situation to actually do away with the term owner. It's now team governor versus owner. So
That's right. That's right.
The governor.
That's right.
Huh. Well, hey man. Look, we covered a little bit of everything today, man. We got the trades in. We talked the deadline, and newsflash, guys. John Morant and Giannis Antetokounmpo are still on their respective. What what else can we say, man? Alan, I know you're a busy man. I know you got a lot going on. What seems to be the rest of your weekend as we get closer and closer to Super Bowl 60? What you got?
So I think we got lock it in both tomorrow and Sunday. Obviously, we're doing one Sunday for the Super Bowl, but we'll be doing a lot of college basketball talk tomorrow with that. Which, by the way, UConn was upset today by St. John, so that was a big upset in college basketball tonight. And then Sunday night, we'll be doing a live watch along of the Super Bowl itself here on Rec Room. So.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, lock it in. I can't wait. Uncle Scott, you're gonna be a little busy as well. You're gonna be joining the guys that lock it in. You're gonna be hanging out a little while for the for the remote viewing. What else you got going on this weekend? That's it.
Is there a big game going on this weekend? Anybody?
No.
Yeah, a little something.
The other thing I will be doing this weekend is at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central on the Bodkins channel. We will have a super duper Super Bowl special. I think we're going to bow on. We're going to have some guests on. We're going to talk about the game and make our picks. So that's, again, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central on the Bodkins channel for the super duper Super Bowl show. So looking forward to that. And again, lock it in this weekend. Probably mostly college and NBA and NHL's on their break right now because of the Olympics. But NBA, college basketball tomorrow. And then Sunday we'll have our Super Bowl player props and sides and stuff like that. So look for it about, Alan, what about probably 11 Central, a little bit earlier than that, maybe 10:30 Central.
Yeah, I would say anywhere from 10 to 11 Central is usually what.
Central.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun on that show. It's on the Rec Room, so everybody can tune in and follow us or fade us, anything that you want. So looking forward to it.
Also, go Hawaii.
Go Hawaii. Go Hawaii.
Bobby G, man, you all over the place as well, man, with the Audible channel and Sports Time 216, and then my guy Mike Wildcard Mar, the whole team over there with the crew. What you got going on for the weekend, bro?
Sleep, because I feel like pure dog no. No, I really do, yeah. I'm gonna get some sleep. I appreciate everybody for bearing with me. Yeah, y'all see me over here freaking going to town on the Kleenex over here. But no, I think I'm supposed to be on I'll be joining Scott on the Bakins show, so Sunday. So I'll hop on that. Other than that, man, Saturday is my family day. Little man got his basketball game tomorrow, so I will be there in the stands, sick as a dog, cheering on little man. And then after that, James Harden debut with the Cavs versus Kings. So I'll be watching that later on.
Great place to
Other
debut.
than that, I will be drugged up, all prescription and over the counter. You know,
Performance
and
enhancing.
there you go.
HGH, little human growth hormone in there. Percocet like Paul. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Then of course Jay, man. You know, we getting right, man. We get Super Bowl, man. Several. I got a post, Jay. I meant to send it to you several years ago. I was tagged into a post to go to a location that was once known as Club 21 for the Super Bowl after party hosted by DJ SD. The old days, man. Good times.
You
man.
gotta send that to me, man, because man, that was a time.
Yeah.
But hey, man, we about to watch a pretty good matchup in college basketball where we have two freshmen going against each other who some would say, not necessarily the first or second pick in the draft, but some heavy talents, man, and some Boozer kid and Caleb Wilson, man. And I keep telling Whit, like I swore this like Boozer he must be on some type of roids or something, man. Because I watched him and yo, like maybe 2 years ago, and yeah, he was not that big, yo. Nah, he wasn't. But look, Tar Heels, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we bring in the win, man. That's going to be a great game to watch. Outside of that, of course, man, it's the Super Bowl. I got Seattle. You know, I'm sorry, Scott, but if
Listen.
Christian Gonzalez, if Christian Gonzalez can't put his imprint on this game, I think Sam Darnold's gonna have his way with the defense, or shall I say the Seattle, either way. But it's gonna be a fun game to watch. Other than that, I'm gonna be watching Lock It In. Trying to watch everybody pretty much all weekend. And yeah, man, I don't have much else going on, man. I can't be a degenerate gambler. I've made a promise not to gamble. So but the color of the Gatorade will be red.
Oh wow, you're giving it away. You're giving it away. Giving away the sauce.
Okay, gotta give a shout out.
It'll-
Out there.
Oh, everybody said something at the same time. Say it again,
Yeah, I'll
Bobby.
give you 10-1 odds on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout out. Shout out to the young bull, Elijah Arenas. Like we all saw what he went through. Nobody went through. He's back on the court. Other night he had a career high 29 points. So yeah, the shout out to him and his comeback.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Also, sounds like somebody's still upset that his team didn't draft Christian Gonzalez and instead went with Emmanuel Forbes.
Whoa.
But that's okay. Forbes is in LA now. He's not doing well with the Rams, so that's at least a good thing.
Yeah, have fun watching Shea play tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going down. So right now, man, I'm excited for the weekend. So much to really be looking forward to in the next week or so. And one of the things, just we're not even going to talk about it in depth, but the Wizards, if and when we both get this, we see Trey Young, the pool party, Anthony Davis, Sar, like it's so much going on. I didn't really even get into that one because we gotta hope that people are healthy in order for that to work.
Yeah,
But anyway,
that's gonna happen.
Yeah, but hey, for right now we covered pretty much everything, guys. I appreciate y'all showing up. This was a great show. Once again, remember Rec Room Sports. We will be going live on ESPN 690. The crew will be there. We will be doing this over the radio. That's right. So Rec Room Sports, bringing the internet to your radio, where internet and radio meet. I'm your boy K Witt. That's Uncle Scott. That's AP. That's my guy Jay. And that's Bobby G, man. We're gonna catch you next week. Seahawks 24-20.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.